Location and geography of Mauritius. Picture a tiny dot on the map, lost in the middle of nowhere. Now imagine that this dot is a true paradise. That's Mauritius. A remote archipelago so isolated, its nearest neighbor, Madagascar, is over 1,000 kilometers away. Total geographic isolation. Mauritius isn't just a single island, it's an archipelago made up of about 60 islands and islets, though most of them are uninhabited. The main island, also called Mauritius, is where everything happens. It's the beating heart of the nation, home to the capital city, Port Louis, and where the majority of the population lives. It's where you'll find schools, shops, temples, hotels, and government services. Other notable islands include Rodriguez, the second largest with some infrastructure, Agalega and Cargados Correjos, more remote and less developed. Size and scale. Mauritius covers roughly 2,000 square kilometers, just a bit larger than the city of São Paulo, Brazil. But while São Paulo is a jungle of concrete, horns, and skyscrapers, Mauritius is made of white sand beaches, tropical forests, and lush green mountains. It's a compact country where you can drive from the coastline to the top of a mountain in less than an hour. Volcanic origins. Mauritius was born from underwater volcanic eruptions, millions of years ago. As lava built up on the ocean floor, it formed a platform. Over time, that gave rise to mountains, valleys, rivers, and dramatic cliffs. To this day, the island's terrain is rugged, with unique rock formations and extinct craters marking its ancient volcanic roots. Microclimates. One island, many weathers. Despite its small size, Mauritius has a surprising range of microclimates. On the coast, it's warm and sunny nearly all year long, the kind of weather you dream of for a tropical escape. But just head inland, to elevations around 600 meters, and everything changes. You'll find fog, cool breezes, and people sipping hot tea in the middle of the afternoon. In just 20 minutes, you can drive from a beach bathed in sun to a cloud-covered mountain trail. This compact natural contrast is one of Mauritius' most captivating features. Movie-worthy landscapes. The island's geography feels straight out of a film. Jagged cliffs, rivers winding through tropical jungles, crystal-clear lagoons framed by green peaks, dense forests with hidden waterfalls and panoramic trails. No bridge. No highway. No neighbor. One striking fact: Mauritius has no physical connection to any other place. There are no bridges, no highways leading out, and no land borders. You can only get there by plane or boat. This absolute isolation only adds to its appeal, a place that feels untouched, private, and preserved like a hidden gem. In a world that feels increasingly fast and hyper-connected, Mauritius dances to its own rhythm. Surrounded by nothing but the sea, it feels like a place preserved for those seeking beauty, peace, and a touch of geographic magic. History of Mauritius. Unlike almost every country on the African continent, Mauritius started its story from scratch. No indigenous peoples. No ancient civilizations. Not a single soul when Europeans first arrived. Everything, absolutely everything, was brought from elsewhere. And that's exactly what makes its history so unique. An island without owners, starting from zero. When the first explorers arrived, they found an untouched island. Unlike most African countries, there were no native tribes, no ancient ruins, no sign of human life at all. Just virgin forests, strange animals, and untouched land. This blank slate beginning deeply shaped the country's identity, a nation with no original roots, but a soul built through migration, diversity, and constant reinvention. The first explorers. Early sightings came from Arab and Malay sailors during the Middle Ages, but they didn't settle. In 1505, the Portuguese officially landed on the island. They explored it, took notes, but weren't interested in staying. The name Mauritius didn't even exist yet. That would come much later. Dutch rule, 1598 to 1710, the failed beginning. By the late 1500s, the Dutch tried to establish a colony. They named it Mauritius in honor of Prince Maurice of Nassau, the same Dutch noble who left a mark on colonial Brazil. But the Dutch project was a complete disaster. Harsh droughts, violent cyclones, failed attempts to grow sugar and raise livestock. After decades of frustration, they gave up and abandoned the island by the early 1700s. French rule, 1715 to 1810. Blood, sugar, and slavery. In 1715, The French took control and transformed Mauritius into a booming sugar colony. To fuel this new economy, they imported thousands of enslaved Africans, making slavery the core of the island's production system. Sugar plantations flourished, driven by forced labor, and Mauritius became a key stop in France's global trade network. This period also marked the island's first real development, building ports, villages, and lasting infrastructure. British rule, 1810 to 1968 abolition, and a new wave of migration. In 1810, amid the Napoleonic Wars, the British seized the island from the French. It became part of the British Empire, though many French influences, especially language and culture, remain to this day. In 1835, the British officially abolished slavery. But the reality was more complex. Indentured labor, a new form of exploitation. With slavery abolished, the British still needed labor. So they began importing workers from India, promising them wages and a better life. Thousands of Indians crossed the ocean with hope, only to find grueling work and harsh conditions on sugar plantations. Yet many stayed. They built lives, married, raised families, opened businesses, and built temples. Today, around two-thirds of Mauritius' population is of Indian descent, a key to understanding the country's modern identity. An identity formed through Laïron. Mauritius never had a native people. Instead, everything was brought in, layered, and adapted: people, languages, religions, food, music, architecture. It's a national identity shaped through cultural fusion. A living mosaic, where no single thread tells the whole story. Teaser for the next topic, the dodo bird. But long before the Portuguese, Dutch, or British ever set foot here, the island already had a resident. A strange creature, unlike any other, now extinct, but never forgotten. A peaceful bird with no predators, no fear, until humans arrived. In the next chapter, we'll meet Mauritius' most famous symbol, the legendary dodo. Visual summary for video support. No native population, a blank slate before European arrival. Waves of colonization. Portuguese, 1505, explored but didn't settle. Dutch, 1598 to 1710, failed colonization. French, 1715 to 1810, sugar empire and slavery. British, 1810 to 1968, abolition and Indian migration. Population 100% built from outside influences. Culture formed through diversity and adaptation. Mauritius is a nation that never had a founding people, and maybe because of that, it learned how to build a home where every origin matters. Its history didn't begin with roots, it began with encounters. And that changed everything.